Alright guys, today I'm going to be testing out if the Benelli TNT 135 is a good ADV bike. And to do that, I'm going to be taking it to Sturgis. Right now, I'm letting some cars go by before I get on it so I can actually shred this road with this little bike. What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Motarded YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be pushing the Benelli TNT 135 to its absolute breaking point. You're going to see my trials, my tribulations, and everything this bike has to offer because I'm going to be pushing it to the max. I am so sick and tired of everyone telling me, Motarded, a mini bike is great, but you can't ride it long distances. I'm here today to prove everyone wrong, and I'm taking this bike all the way to Sturgis. And not only that, we are going to be doing some off-roading, taking this thing down the trails, the gravel roads, the mud, everything. So if you're interested in seeing what this bike can do, please stay tuned. And if you like this content, please go to Benelli and message them and ask them to sponsor me. Off-road capabilities. There's actually a secret cave right here. Down along the route here. And I'm not gonna lie right now, that was so annoying trying to get around those guys. Honestly, this trip started off really well. This bike actually does fairly perfect on slower highways. This road specifically, the speed limit was 45 miles per hour, so I had no problem keeping up with traffic. And just to preface, the speedometer is about 10 miles per hour faster, but in the faster sections going downhill, this bike will hold 60 miles per hour, like no problem. The biggest uncomfortability factor with this bike is probably going to be the vibrations. And in order to maintain 60 miles per hour, you also have to maintain about 8,000 to 9,000 RPM. I will say though, this bike is actually surprisingly comfortable for how small it is. The way this bike handles is also extremely fun, especially in like the twistier sections of the road. You can tell from the video some parts where the road gets twisty, I was actually having a lot of fun. It's just so, I guess, flickable. Turning left and turning right back to back really quickly is just so easy on this bike. Obviously, this bike would not be a good fit for the interstate. Don't do that. I think it's kind of unsafe because the speed limits around here are 75 miles per hour. And this bike can get nowhere close to that speed. So cruising down the back roads to get to Sturgis is actually the route I'm going to take here. Which is honestly the route I would have taken anyway, because let's be real, if you're on a motorcycle, you want to enjoy the canyons and the country and the beauty. You don't want to just be sitting on a flat interstate holding the throttle the whole time. That is extremely boring, and that is not why I ride a motorcycle. I was about 30 minutes into my ride at this point, and honestly I just turned my camera on because I was coming down the hill into that canyon. It was just such a nice view of the mountains in the background with all the trees around me. At this point in the trip, I was still really comfortable and I was still having a really good time. I had a good time most of this trip. So far, my little Benelli was doing a pretty good job as an ADV bike. It was doing everything it needed to do. It kept me comfortable, it kept me flowing with traffic, and it was getting really great gas mileage. Alright, I'm about 20 miles in. I just pulled off at a little campground. And so far the ride is going pretty good. Riding on the road is usually pretty boring to record, so I took a quick little detour, but I'm going to be hopping, back up on the road right up here, so just testing out the off-road capabilities. You got to test out the ADV capabilities of the bike, so I'm going to be getting back up on the road here. It can be boring just recording the road, but it's really beautiful out here. So far, I'm really enjoying the ride. I'm really enjoying the ride. It's been really great so far. You know, I'm only 20 miles in, but so far I've been able to do 50 miles per hour pretty good, other than like going up the hills. So that's been nice, but I'm gonna keep going. Alright, we made it to our first town here. This is the first town along the route here, and it's kind of the halfway point between Sturgis. So far I would say the bike has actually been pretty comfortable. Really not much to complain about. I am going to take a little detour and kind of check out the area here, just to make the trip more enjoyable. The one thing I do regret is not wearing a riding jacket. Because as you can see, there's some storm clouds building up there. And the temperature dropped like 20 degrees, like just like that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get rained on at some point, but hopefully I can make it back to the shelter before I get rained on. So I think this area here is just mostly residential. I do know there's some trails nearby, but I haven't been up here in a long time. I'm not going to dick around with the trails too much. Whoops, locked up the tire. I'm not going to dick around with the trails too much, just because, you know, I'm on a long trip today, so I got to save my my endurance. And trails can really beat the shit out of you, especially on this bike, where there's like the suspension really, I mean, you max it out over like every rock, so it's pretty, it can do it for sure, but it's just not that comfortable. So, alright, well, I got behind some real ADD riders, so we're gonna see if the Benelli can keep up. So it turns out I never could pass those 3 motorcycles in front of me, but I still had a really great time riding with those guys. And if you guys are watching this, I really appreciate the challenge, even though you weren't trying to race. I decided really to turn my camera back on here because this canyon is right outside of Sturgis, and it's truly one of the most incredible and stunning roads you can ride on with a car or a motorcycle. And I always thought it was incredible because during the Sturgis motorcycle rally, 99% of motorcyclists will just take the interstate because this road actually follows the interstate, it parallels it, and in order to save, 10 or 15 minutes, most of the guys will just hop on the interstate when there's thousands and thousands and thousands of riders on the interstate during that time, and it's like so dangerous, it's so sketchy, and worst of all, it's just boring. Why would you ever take the interstate when you can ride through this canyon? So enjoy my little ride through this canyon and just admire how beautiful it is. That is like scorching hot. Oh, the chicken strips. I've been really pushing this thing almost to the edge, which is right where I want to be. Because if you actually roll over this edge on the side here, the one thing about these tires is like, it's really easy to lose control. Like, it's not as smooth, but anyway, this thing, I got it ripping coming down the hill here, just absolutely shredding it up. I know it looks so lame on camera, but I'm absolutely loving this thing coming down the hill. It's just absolutely shredding. So I'm just about to Sturgis. So I pulled over for a little bit of detour, and I'm going to do a little bit of off-roading here, just because this is an ADV bike, so we have to test its full potential. I'm going to try to stay out of the mud because I want my tires to not get too dirty. Whoa. All right, now we're ripping the trails. This is what ADV is all about, guys. Yeah, that's like a timber trail, so definitely, ow! Definitely not gonna make it up that, especially with street tires. And I just broke my promise of getting my tires muddy because this whole trail is mud right here. I want to go easy on the clutch because the clutch on this bike is starting to wear out, and I think that's something you'll find when you're constantly ripping wheelies. I'm not a huge wheelie guy, but the guy who I bought this bike from just ripped a ton of wheelies. Let's see if we can get up this here. This is what ADV is all about. If your bike can't do this, just throw it away. It's not an ADV bike. And that's not a trail either. It just goes straight up a mountain. So, those both are not a thing. The one thing I will say about this bike is I don't really recommend it to a beginner who is wanting to start out on this and upgrade to a bigger motorcycle down the road. And the reason why I say that is because the lean angles are just like different and weird. The geometry is different. So then when you go back to a normal bike, it's going to be like totally different, and you're going to have to relearn everything. I have to like relearn to corner with this bike. So this looks extremely sketchy. I'm going to have a lot of momentum to make it up that hill with street tires. So I'm actually going to back up a little bit. And it's an absolute mud bog at the bottom of that. I don't know if I should do this, but what's the worst that could happen? Oh, that was so easy. I don't know what I was worried about. I just ripped right up that thing, man. Here we go. This is what this bike's made for. ADV riding. Let's go. And it's dead. What the fuck? Okay, I think I just hit the kill. I think I just hit the kill switch, but I freaked out because I'm like, I don't want to get stuck out here. Let's go. Oh yeah. On street tire, son. This is a fucking ADV bike. I don't care who you are. is so sick. There's a crazy good view. Go to Sturgis on a Harley. This is something that you're missing out on. Look at this trail, it's so overgrown. This isn't even a trail. No one's been down here in years. Ow! I'm just in the woods at this point. Holy crap. Guys, check out this view. This is what ADV riding is all about. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and the Benelli 135 got me here. Check this out. You can't do that on a Harley. Your big ADV bike isn't getting here unless you're a good rider. Most guys don't even do this shit. But check this out. You're not going to experience that on many other bikes other than a dirt bike. And this thing has the range, the distance, the MPG. But this is no longer a trail. So I'm going to turn around. Am I still recording? Okay. I was going to say, that would absolutely suck if I just did all that crazy shit and didn't get it on camera. Alright. I'm going to start riding back. I know I've been recording a lot on my camera, so I'm going to have to start turning it off to conserve battery. Otherwise, ow! Ow! This is another reason I should have worn my jacket. Look at this, that hurts, man. Yeah, you're not getting out here with a BMW. There's no way, man. Like, you could do it, but it would just suck. Ow! Oh yeah. We're just ripping it, man. We're just ripping it. Look at me go. I got street tires, but I got them so hot. I'm hooking up in the mud, son. Let's jump it, let's jump it, let's jump it. Oh! Oh, did you see that? What can't this thing do, man? What can't it do? Tell me. You know we gotta rip this thing again. Here we go. What a unit, man. What a unit. Oh yeah. Let me do a check. Tires aren't too bad with mud, so I think I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna wait a little bit so I don't catch up to people. That's what I usually like to do because there's no way to pass them on this thing. Give it a couple more seconds. You gotta be patient on a slow bike if you want to have fun, because you can't pass people. You gotta give them like 18 seconds or something like that, because this thing is truly gonna catch up to them in a matter of seconds when I'm flying around those corners, man. Alright, I'm gonna stop the camera because I gotta save the battery. I know I said I'm gonna stop the camera, but I gotta show you guys something sick. Check this shit out. I guarantee you
There is not a I almost don't want to show this because it's kind of a secret that's hidden in plain sight. But check this shit out, guys. There's a, wait for it. Okay. Hopefully there's no snakes. All right, guys. There's actually a secret cave right here. And it is actually one of the most beautiful caves on the inside. I am one of the very few people that have actually explored this cave. It's kind of hard to see on camera, and you don't have a really good view right here, but there's just tons of crystals. If you've ever been to Jewel Cave in South Dakota, it's actually really similar. But this is just like, I'm not even kidding you guys. This cave is like 5 miles. I shouldn't even say this. I don't want it to get vandalized. I'm not going to say the road though. So if you do really want to check it out, there's another like little entrance there, but you can't fit through there. If you want to check it out, I don't know, find it yourself. I'm not going to drop the location, but it's off of one of the main highways that thousands and thousands and thousands of Harley Davidson riders pass by every single day during the rally. Not a single one of them sees it because they're just too focused on like riding slow and being gay, I guess. As you guys, make sure there's no one behind me. As you guys can see there, this road is truly one of the most beautiful and one of the twistiest in all of North America. I mean, not one of, but it's a damn good road for motorcycles. Probably the best one within 500 miles. But and the reason that it's good is because there's an interstate that goes from there to there, and 99% of people will actually take that interstate instead of taking the road. I'm talking like during Sturgis rally. But guys, and maybe they just don't know this, but it's like you could probably just look on a map. This route is so beautiful. But here we go, guys. We made it. I'm in Sturgis, here for the rally. We made it on the Benelli TNT 135, dude. This bike has been awesome, reliable, it handles awesome. The only thing is the clutch is wearing out, but I blame the previous owner for popping way too many wheelies. But it still works fine, it's just got some wear and you can definitely tell. I don't know if you guys can see this now, but if you look up there on the hill, you can see the Sturgis Hollywood logo on the side of the hill there, so that's really sick. But honestly, Sturgis is not that great. It's not really that cool. It's just kind of like a small shitty town. So coming here like when it's not the rally is kind of lame. But still, I can say I took my Benelli TNT 135 to Sturgis, and who else can say that, man? Sounds pretty badass if you ask me.